everybody, and welcome back to Drawing with Paolo. Today we're going to draw Vegito. So here's his head and his spine, and then we're going to draw his shoulders, so just a curved line of this, and circles on either end, just like that. And then we're going to give him a power stance, so we're going to give him his elbows and his arms curled up like this, with his fist over here on this side, and we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. His elbow, his forearm, his fist up here, just like that. And then we're going to work on his body, so we'll put his obliques here, just like that, which will attach to, of course, his neck is up here, but then we'll need to put his belt sort of here, and then his legs on either side, just like that. All right, now let's work on his flaming head of hair. So, and this is just a basic shape to give us an idea of where everything should go. There's this flaming head, and then we'll put his legs split apart here so that he's in a powerful stance. These are the tools I use to erase. So here's the thick eraser and the thin eraser. I use both of these to erase the things within my drawings. And a lot of you have been asking, how do you erase things? I can't see anything when you use your hand to swipe across. So this is what I do. And so this drawing is meant to teach you three things. One of which is drawing Vegito, of course, from Dragon Ball Z. Everybody likes Vegito, and we've been talking about a lot of people asking me for some manga drawings, so here's a manga drawing. The second part is how to erase, and you'll see that I put in a lot of foundation lines, and then those foundation lines need to be erased later on with an eraser, and so I'll teach you how to do that today. And the third part, and lastly, is drawing the way you want to draw rather than drawing how you need to draw, or rather what the character looks like. In this case, we're drawing Vegito, and I'm going to draw Vegito in the way that I draw my characters. It's not so much, it will look like him, but it won't be the manga way, okay? So I know a lot of you out there will say, this doesn't really look like Vegito, but it will, but it's not in the way that you expect to see Vegito. So it will be sort of manga-ish. And here's the erasing part, so I'm going to erase the lines that I got there for his face. And this you wouldn't ordinarily see because I thought the erasing part, in general, is sort of boring for people, so I took it out of the video, and it made my videos a little bit longer. Oh, by the way, these lines here is to make the ears the same height, right? So, and the line at the bottom is where you can put the mouth. So the mouth is essentially at the bottom of the ear line, and those lines help you out in adjusting the height of the ears. So let's give him a little bit of a lip underneath his mouth here, and then a little bit of a nose. Vegito's nose is really thin and pointy. Let's finish off his jaw a little bit more here. There we go. And a little bit of a, there we go, a little line, a little reverse L for his nose, and his eyes are strangely like rectangles, so it's not the manga way of really big eyes, but even in my case, I'm going to make his eyes just a little bit smaller because I want to draw Vegito looking more like a real human than a manga character, but you'll be able to get the drift. The idea here is to use your imagination and to use your drawing style to represent any character that you like. All right, so there's his hair. Now we're going to put this little cheek line to the top, like that. And put a few more details here. So thicken up his neck a little bit. And put his neck muscle lines. And of course we're going to put his pecs up here. This is one pec line, another one over here. And we'll put a separated line over here. Vegito's in his Super Saiyan pose, and he's very powerful, so very muscular. Let's give him a little bit of an eyeball here. And it's coming along. All right, we're getting a good idea. So the point here, once again, is three parts. One, how to draw Vegito. Two, how to erase lines, because as I said earlier, I thought, you guys didn't want to really know how I erase things, and it looked a little boring to me and made my videos a bit longer, but if you guys need to see, this is how I erase content out of my drawings. And three is draw the way you want to draw. Now, you really have two options when you're drawing. You can draw it exactly as you see it, or draw it the way you'd like to have it. So let's erase these lines here, by the way. So this little line here in the middle of the hair, we'll use my thin eraser, like my pencil eraser, and erase those lines and then redraw them on top. There we go. So we got rid of the lines we didn't need there. And by the way, you can find this eraser in any art store, art supply store, or if you go to places like Staples or some home office store, they'll be able to have these kind of erasers, the long pencil type erasers. They're like a mechanical pencil where you can push in the back and the eraser comes out. And they're pretty cool. I like using them a lot. Because for little details, like for example, the hairline that we're drawing right now, these are like little, seem to be like feathers. You can see that there's still that fiery line that we did at first is behind there, is passing through. So we're going to have to erase that line later on. And that eraser does a great job. Compared to my thick white eraser, you wouldn't be able to take off those details without erasing the whole drawing. Let's put another thickness of hair back here. It's pretty weird hair, if you ask me. Nobody would want to pass their fingers through his hair, probably cut them. All right, we're going to erase these lines, as I said. So let's do it here, and then we're going to do it real quick all for the rest. So it's really just erasing in between those lines and trying to keep the ones that you've drawn. But that's the point of drawing really lightly at first, because you can erase those really easily afterwards. And then you just pass on top of the lines you want to keep and make them nice and dark again so that you won't be erasing them later on. All right. So by the way, I've got more and more people following me on YouTube. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. But I'd like to say a special hi to everybody in Japan and Switzerland and France. And I've got people in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and in Mexico. So hi, everybody, and welcome aboard. I'm really happy to have you watching. And these videos are made for you. Let's erase the ears. I think they're a little small, so we're going to get those out and redraw them a little bit bigger. And see how I'm doing this? It's like as I'm drawing along, I'm rebuilding parts of the drawing, and that's okay. You are allowed to erase. Erasing is not a mistake. It's part of the creation process. So if you think things aren't working out well, just give it a little erase and build it up again. Or you can just try another drawing, or you can just decide to leave it as it is, and that's okay. It is your drawing, so there's nothing really wrong about it. And if people tell you, hey, that's not what he looks like, well, I don't mind. It's not, this is my drawing. It's not your drawing. I didn't make it for you, or maybe if I did, then it's a nice gesture that I'm passing on. Your drawings are yours, and you own them, and you build them the way that you like. That's something that's very important. And the whole point here is to have fun. Have fun, use creativity, and invent things. Use your imagination is vital when drawing, and it makes you a lot smarter too, by the way. Let's put this Vegito's earrings in here. Well, that's how I pronounce his name. I don't know how you guys do it. And let's imagine that the light's coming from above, so we're going to put a little bit of shadow. So the light's coming from here, and there's of course shading on his forehead, and shading here for his little hairpiece that's coming down. And I want to make him a little bit more realistic. I don't know that in manga cartoons that they would make all the shading absolutely reflective of where the sun is or the light source is, but in my case, I want to make this drawing a little bit more realistic than the manga of Dragon Ball Z. So let's make his fist here. And there's his little underside there. And we'll make his other knuckles on this side, or his fingers. Just like that. And then we'll give him knuckles on this side. Now let's make the top line the fingers, and this will be the knuckles. All right, we're going to give him a glove line. Like so, I'm going to make his gloves a little bit thinner in the wrist area, because Vegito's gloves are really thick, and they don't seem real as in the manga world, and that's fine, because that's what mangas are. But in my case, I want to make him a little bit more realistic. And by the way, I'm pronouncing him Vegito. Now, I don't know if you guys out there can tell me how you pronounce it. Maybe some of our Japanese friends can help us with that, because they probably name him a different way, or know how to pronounce his name. I'm using what I've heard. So, all right, there is his white gloves. There are his white gloves, and let's work on certain lines on his hands. When people have been asking from where I do these drawings, I live in Quebec, Canada. So you can check that out on the map. We're above the United States, more on the east end. If you imagine New York, well, we're right above New York by about 8 hours. So yeah, hey, you know what? I'd like to say hi to all my Quebec friends and say hi to all of the people that are watching me. Thank you for supporting me and watching these drawings. These drawings are made, in fact, for you. All right, so let's start working on his clothing. He has like a t-shirt, and on top of his t-shirt, he has another little sort of clothing that have little shoulder pads like this, these pointy parts. And this wraps from behind, and then there's a little U shape that comes up in front of his shoulder like that. And we need to color this inside black to give it some depth in there, make it look like it's deep inside that piece of clothing. And this line goes all the way to the front as a little V. And this is where he can, I guess this is something that he wraps around himself to a certain extent, like a dojo clothing. And then this part we'll try to repeat exactly like we did on the other side. Sometimes it's hard to mirror shapes and lines, but it comes with practice. There we go. And now we need to erase these lines, these shoulder lines. And we're going to get rid of those just like that. And so the way I'm erasing now is exactly the way I erase in any other of my drawings. It's really just, I'm building content on top and I'm erasing through. Now, there's two ways you can draw. You can draw like I'm doing now, which is adding layer upon layer and erasing lines, or just going like as if you were going to draw with a marker, and these lines can't erase. And so you're really drawing the outlines constantly of your drawing, which requires a little bit more work, and you need a lot more practice for that. And maybe one day we'll do that. Maybe one day we'll just draw with a marker and show you how I do that without having to use construction lines as we've been doing. There we go. Let's add a few more folds. A few more folds to his clothing, just like this. My mouth sometimes doesn't want to say what my brain is thinking. I guess that happens to everybody, doesn't it? There we go. A few more lines over here for his t-shirt on either side. And a few more lines on here. If you really want to know how to draw clothing in a very detailed manner, check out my Darth Maul video. Darth Maul video has very detailed clothing, and so, or even I guess my Yoda drawing has a very detailed drawing as well, as far as clothing is concerned. Let's color in his outer clothing here in a dark gray, and then we're gonna darken the bottom part of his clothing because the light is coming from the top. Therefore, the bottom part has to be shaded. And so I'm going to make this bottom piece here a little bit darker. And it wraps its way up like this. Same thing for this part here. And the side. And as it goes towards the back end, like over here, this has to be darker. Because imagine this 3D shape is sort of wrapping towards the back. So the front is lighter and the back is darker. And we're going to make his inner t-shirt a little bit lighter. This is sort of yellow and the outside is a dark blue, so we're going to keep this lighter than his skin anyway. There we go, a little bit darker here and a little bit more where his pecs are. And let's finish his elbows. So we're going to make this nice elbow line like this and repeat that line on the right side here. Just like that. And give it a bit of shading as well underneath this arm. There you go. And by the way, if you want to find me on Facebook, please search for Drawing with Paolo. I'm trying not to keep a Facebook page that has my name on it, Paolo Morrone. And if you try to be my friend as Paolo Morrone, well, I'll probably not accept it. So I'm not trying to be unfair with anyone. It's just that I think everybody should just go to my Drawing with Paolo page. So check that out, Drawing with Paolo, and you can like it. And if you like it, then you'll stay in, contacted or connected with me through Facebook. You can also go to my YouTube channel. And to get to my YouTube channel, all you need to do is click on my name that's highlighted in blue above my videos. And you'll be following on my YouTube channel there. And you can subscribe to it if you like. It's free of charge. We're not charging anything for sure. That's how YouTube works. And you can follow me through my YouTube channel as well. Let's color the pants like the top, a darker gray. And then we're going to add a bit more shading on the front of it. Just like that. There we go. So you keep the right side and the left side of the darker areas a little bit lighter so that it looks like light is really reflecting off those clothes. And under here, because once again the light is coming from the top, we want to make it nice and dark underneath these this clothing, so it seems like it's sort of off the belt a little bit, sort of floating above the belt there, just like that. And now we need to erase these little lines that we don't want to keep here by the leg. You can keep those too; those can be pretty cool. They look very sketch-like, and sketch-like is very nice, artistic way of doing your drawings. But some people like to keep it nice and clean. For example, on the side of the page here, it's sort of dirty, so we're going to clean that up with my big eraser. And you can polish that off. And here too, we have little small lines next to the hand and whatnot. All right, let's color the bottom part of his gauntlets or his gloves. And there we go. Quite simple, just like that. And let's continue a few more of the outlines like this. And we'll see how, most of these lines we're going to keep now anyway. So let's just make them all nice and dark all the way around. Finish this off here. Whatever line we find is too light, like this earring, we'll just go across and trace over them once more. So there you have it, guys. Those of you who wanted Vegito or a manga drawing, well, you got him. This is it. This is my way of drawing him. Now, I know some of you out there will say, well, that's not really him. I think this is my way. This is my way of portraying Vegito, and I hope you get to learn from it. That's all that really matters. And draw, guys. Just do it. Go out there and have fun. And don't let anybody tell you that your drawing is no good. You did it. You made it. Congratulations on that. And keep on drawing. Keep practicing. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys here every day or every week. And thank you very much. Have an awesome day. We'll see you next time on another episode of Drawing with Paolo. I'm going to give one more line right here. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.